Welcome to another episode of Bikini Things, where we talk everything from fitness and mental health to competing and living a healthy lifestyle. I'm your host, IFBBPro, Laura Marche, here with a little Olympia recap. So today's going to be a solo episode, you guys. We just wanted to really get something out for you. Sammy had some family stuff going on this week and couldn't make it. So I'm going to give you guys my breakdown of the Olympia. Let me go ahead and navigate over to the photos. So I'm going to mainly focus on bikini, obviously. Podcast is Bikini Things. I could go on a tangent for a long time about all the divisions. Those of you that know me well know that I love everything from bikini, wellness to classic physique, open bodybuilding especially. So it's a very exciting contest. So let's kind of go through at least some of the top 10. And so our winner was obviously Miss LauraIFBBPro, looking absolutely incredible. And I really feel like Laura finally nailed her Olympia look. Last year, she came in slightly under conditioned. That was, self-reported feedback. A lot of these judges, athletes are posting their feedback online. So this year she really nailed it. Like you can see, classic bikini look. She has the hourglass shape. She's got very full muscles, full glutes, full shoulders. However, no quad separation, no overly dense muscle. She's not really striated anywhere. She's quite lean, but you have to find that right balance. Like, look at how amazing that glute shot looks. And here, if you look at the back leg, you can even see her hamstrings and that separation right there, which looks really great. And Laura Lee is just an incredible athlete. She has such a bubbly look, such a great physique, and you really can't, nobody can beat Laura Lee's back shot. So it looks so nice. Like her shoulders are just perfectly round right there. Glutes are perfectly round. And this shot is not straight onto her. So let me see if I can find a slightly better back shot. You got to remember there's so many photos taken of these athletes that sometimes they're still in motion or still getting themselves set. So just looks absolutely amazing. So this is really the standard of bikini. And I think this is a great look. You can see some hamstrings, but they're not deeply separated. The hamstrings are not split. She's lean, but her shoulders are not overly striated or anything. So this is really the criteria that we're going to be working from for the next year as bikini athletes. More so for pro athletes, but the idea and all of that still applies to amateurs. It's just that amateur level, you're not going to have that same level of muscularity and level of leanness expected. As pros, we are expected to look slightly different than amateurs. So Ashley got second place, and I thought this was a really great look for her. I love the green suit and the straight hair. I thought it was a great combo. And Ashley as well. She has this amazing hourglass X-frame shape. She has extremely full, very dense glutes. Like Ashley has probably maybe the densest glutes in the IFBB. And it's not a surprise because she is one of the OG competitors. And I think one of the things that you notice here, if we just compare to Laura Lee's back shot, is you'll notice that her glutes don't maybe have the same pop or projection. I'll be very curious to hear Tyler's recap video. I'm sure he's going to do one for all the divisions in the Olympia. But Ashley, she just has such an incredible look. And you can really see in some of these photos, like how round, how bubbly she is as well. And that's one thing that I really love to see is the two top ladies. There's some of these OG competitors that have been around for many, many years, and they both have such bubbly, beautiful physiques. So that's our top two. And then Jasmine Gonzalez, or Jazzy Fresh, as her Instagram name is called. She has such an amazing bubbly look as well. I believe her first Olympia was in 2020. And I've competed with Jazzy a few times. She won the Pacific USA in 2021. I did that show with her. In 2022, we also both did the Pacific USA, and we were in the first Callouts together. And she just has a phenomenal physique. She used to live down here in San Diego, and so I would see her at a lot of shows and events, and she just looks absolutely incredible. Like, look at that thickness of the glute, the separation here, the lat, the size of that lat, and her shoulder, like just the shape is incredible. And I would actually say it's so subtle. She might be a tiny bit leaner than the other two, but it's really pretty spot on. Like she just has these insane glutes. Yeah, so maybe conditioning is pretty equivalent. And, just these insane glutes. Look at that shoulder vein there. Just the shape and her posing as well is really amazing. Jazzy's known for her posing, and she's been a top athlete for a long time. She had a little bit of time off during most of 2022 to towards the end of 2022 to 2023. I think she took a long off season, but she just looks absolutely incredible. You can see the depth to the glutes, you can see the pop. And so that's really what the standard is you have to remember that bikini is all about hourglass. So we're constantly going to be chasing, all of us, the fullness to the glutes, the fullness to the shoulders, and that small waistline. And to some extent, to really be a top athlete in this sport, you have to have good genetics for this. And so what better placement to land on, or what better athlete to land on than Amy Delgado, who really does have amazing genetics for bikini. She's got a very naturally round, bubbly look. You can see how full her glutes are. She has that quad separation, flat stomach, nice round shoulders. And I know she really brought an improved look from the Arnold, or she really felt like she brought some improvements. I think at that show, they told her shoulders were maybe a little too large or a little too dense. And so she's really striving for that bikini balance, because Amy's also a little bit more petite. And so the comment she gets a lot, which I don't really see anymore, is that she can look wellness. I really don't think she looks wellness. I think she looks bikini. I think she's really figured out her body, figured out how to train. And she really has great posing, knows her angles, and she's a freaking hard worker. If you just watch any of her Instagram stories or YouTube videos, you can see how focused and consistent she is, which is very inspiring. And here in this back shot, again, an amazing hourglass shape, very full glutes. And I'll be curious to hear what her feedback is here, because I thought Amy looked amazing. She always shows up very consistently, looks very good, and she's got this very full round look. In my guess is just seeing the top three versus her is, remember that Ashley and Laura Lee have been competing for a lot longer. Laura Lee has been second at the Olympia dating back all the way to 2018, 7 years ago. To me, their physiques, Ashley and Laura Lee specifically, just look like they have a bit more density than Amy does. I don't know if that weighed into the judging. I think she's just a lot newer of an athlete. She started competing in 2020 and won her pro card that same year. So I'll be very curious to hear her feedback. I thought she looked great. And I'm sure they also have a lot of positive things to say, because being fourth in the world is pretty freaking incredible. And that was a move up for her placings, which was sixth last year. So next up, we have Vania August. Love Vania. I remember celebrating with her first win at the Nashville Fit Show in 2022. And she's really had an incredible year. She won the Arnold UK. She placed top 5 at Pittsburgh Pro, really making a name for herself and really standing out. And Vania has an incredible look, small waist, again, full shoulders, round glutes. It's a very, very consistent formula for bikini, and it's just figuring out how to bring that for yourself. And obviously genetics do come into play. Stage presence comes into play. Vania is known for her incredible stage presence. She does a spin in her routine, which not many even Olympians are doing anymore. Last year, I feel like we saw a lot of girls doing spins and whatnot in their routines. And this year, I think a lot of people toned it down. I don't know if that's feedback from the judges or just how posing is evolving. But Vania has her signature spin that she's had since she was an amateur athlete, and just looked absolutely incredible in the red. I really like the red on her. She also more recently has worn ocean blue. In the past, she wore a lot of purple. And this is just a really beautiful, bubbly physique. Yeah, so see here this back shot. This just looks amazing. The shoulders are right there. We see that good separation from the arm. The tie-ins are there. Her glutes are very round. They have the nice projection out from her legs. She looks very symmetrical. That's one thing too I notice here in this back pose, how symmetrical she is. So again, these good genetics, and also paying attention to your body work, any imbalances you could be creating, like all these little details, it really adds up. And these ladies who are in the top 10 are freaking consistent, not just consistent for a prep or for an off season, but for years and years at a time. And that's really how they've made it to where they are now. And so in sixth place, we had Ashlin Little. And Ashlin also has had an amazing last couple of years competing. This year, she won shows. She has an updated suit as well, I believe. I believe this is a different suit than what she wore to the Olympia last year. And from my perspective, as someone who's known her, been aware of her for many years, she's only getting better and better. Her waistline is only getting smaller. I know she's very thoughtful with her core control and all of that, and how she trains. And she's got insanely full glutes, very full shoulders, and great posing. Here you can really see here how full that glute is. And, the fullness to the shoulder cap there. Let's see if we can find a little back shot. And here, yeah, again, look at the crazy fullness to the glutes. She's got just a nice hint of hamstrings on her legs. And then again, we see the shoulders stand out here. So I really liked Ashlin's look. I thought the suit was great. The hair, the blue and the blonde always goes so nicely together. So her as well, I'll be curious to hear her feedback. I think one of these things when you are a pro and you're a top pro, because again, these ladies are top 10 in the world, so they're pretty freaking amazing at what they do. It comes down to very small subtleties. So one thing I also remember hearing early on when I first turned pro was that at the pro level, it's not so much about strengths, it's about who has the least weaknesses, right? Like who's the most complete, who has the least, weak body parts or little things. And it's very, I have to imagine it's got to be very challenging for the judges. I don't envy them because bikini, again, it's so close, and these little differences in just how you pose, your suit color, all these things make a difference. And in 7th place, we had Maria Aosta, which I was also not surprised to see her in the top 10. She had a great year. She also placed in the top 5 at the Pittsburgh Pro, which is a very prestigious competitive pro show after the Arnold and the Olympia. I would put it as like the 3rd most prestigious show. If it's kind of the Olympia, then Arnold, and then probably Pittsburgh Pro. So she really made a name for herself. She qualified for her first Olympia. She came very close in previous years. And again, she's someone who has these very full glutes. Right there, you can see that depth and that projection. She's got very nice posing, a lot of sass, a lot of, I would say like flirtatiousness to how she moves and does her posing, but very classy and just looking very beautiful in the red. So let me see where is, looking for a back shot. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I just missed it. Okay, so here's the back shot. And Maria as well, insanely full glutes. For her, maybe you can see a little bit more quad. The shoulders as well, the shoulder caps are there, and she's looking really good. So I think a lot of these subtle differences are going to come down to things like muscle density, structure, these really, really nuanced little details that are going to separate the top 10. Because at this level, it's so competitive. So in 8th place, which was a surprise to me, we had Issa Pacini. And Issa always looks incredible. She probably has the smallest waistline out of anyone in the IFBB. She's a past Miss Bikini Olympia. She won it in 2019. And I love this red velvet suit on her, this like dark red. I feel like it goes so nicely with her hair. It really pops. And I feel like her physique has really gotten better in the last 2 years. I think her working with James from Team Atlas has really benefited her. I feel like she's really improved her physique. I feel like in the past, her waist was so small and her glute pop was so full from the front that the shoulders almost looked too small, and like things just weren't in the same balance as they are now. And I really love to see her succeed. I know she works so hard, and I know how passionate she is about bodybuilding. She's been doing it for a long time. And here again, you see the fullness and the pop to the glute. And I'm not sure maybe what went into peaking her, but I feel like her glutes just, I don't know if she was possibly flat or something, but I feel like I've seen her compete in the past with more pop to her glutes. So again, I would be very curious to hear her feedback. I can't assume that's what it is. I'm not a judge, but that's my speculation. I was there in person, and she has amazing glutes. So I almost wonder if it was like just a peaking thing or something, but we'll see kind of what feedback the judges give us and also what feedback everyone posts online this week. So in 9th place, we had Jordan, and she's also a past top 10 Olympian. I love the orange, love this bright orange from Toxic Angels. It's one of a kind. You really don't see any other pro athletes rocking suit colors like this, but she really pulls it off. And one thing I love about Jordan, outside of her being a taller athlete, she is 5'7", is her shoulders and her arms. To me, they look just essentially perfect. I feel like just the shape, the symmetry, the size is so nice. She's got very full glutes from the front and from the back, a small waistline, and she's very beautiful. So it really reads so nicely on stage. Like, just look at that shape there. in that model pose. Like the model pose is not an easy one to pull off, and just look at the crazy hourglass shape we're getting. And that just means that you have so much glutes too. And genetically you have to have been gifted with a small waist, and you also have to do the things to protect and take care of that small waist too, and not blow out your waistline as you're building muscle tissue. This one, okay, this is not a complete photo, so let's let her get settled in her back pose. And again, you see the depth and pop to the glutes is really there. You can see how freaking, like, look at how small her waist is in comparison to her glutes. That is just crazy. And with some competitors, you can't see that because their hair's longer, but because Jordan rocks the curls, you can really see just how incredible her shape is, and really how symmetrical her back and her shoulders look too here. I don't feel like the camera person is straight onto her, but you can really see that nice shape, symmetry, fullness. And being a tall athlete, believe me, it's not easy to do. And she really has so much muscle fullness that when she competes in regular pro shows, like earlier this year, it's almost like everyone just kind of knows. Like if you have a heavy hitter like Jordan, like Issa, Ashley, Laura Lee, you can kind of almost assume like, hey, that's going to be our winner today. So, yeah, these ladies are just, they're next level. Pro level is very, very competitive, and there's levels to it. And when you earn that pro card, it's like you are that little fish in that big pond. And these ladies are at the top. They're the apex predators of the bikini division. And so in 10th place, we had Angelica Tashera, and she is a past 2-time Miss Bikini Olympia. She won the title in 2017 and 2018 after Courtney King, but before Issa won her title. And then she took a little time off to have a family. So she came back this year for the Arnold, did very well in that. I believe she did the Arnold UK, but I might be mistaken. And she looks incredible, like a lot of muscle fullness, crazy glutes, small waist, like even through having babies, she kept her core tight, and she's rocking her signature purple. So this is kind of the signature look that she wore back when she won her titles. I think it looks great on her. Right before she took a break to have her family though, she did wear a turquoise suit, same kind of molded top coverage, and I really love that look in her. Like she just wore it for a regular pro show. She didn't wear it for the Olympia or anything, but that one I also really loved on her. So if she continues to compete, I would love to see her mix it up a little bit, because with dark brown hair like this, you can pull off so many colors. And then here's that side glute. So again, just look at that fullness, that projection, and also the shoulder matches, right? So it's not just about having big glutes, for example. It's about having balance. It's about having that muscle fullness. And if we look at the back shot again, you see, you know, her glutes likely not the same size as someone like Laura Lee's or Ashley's, but you can still see that that shape, that fullness is really there. And I think if Angelica continues to compete, she's just going to get better and better, because she has been a top athlete and she knows what it takes to be on the top. So you've got to know that she has the work ethic. And yeah, like her glutes just look amazing. I can't believe that she's a mom and has this physique. So really amazing, really, really amazing to see. And let's see if we can find some comparison photos. Okay, cool. All right. So another thing that was interesting too, so I'll just mention this. Today's episode will be a little more short and sweet. So this was the initial first call out. And so someone we had in here who landed in the top 10, I believe she was 12th place, maybe 11th place, was Ali Votner. So she was in the first call out. Looking at her photos, Ali has made some crazy improvements this year. She won one of the class shows early in the year, then got to have a long break before she started her prep, and she's really improved her physique. I feel like her waistline has gotten smaller. Her glutes have always been full, but they look absolutely crazy full here, which I think really helped bump her up into that first call out. And then she also has great posing. And then next to her, you have Issa here, Jazzy, Ashley, Laura Lee, Amy, Maria, and Angelica. So that was the initial call out. And then they moved the top four. They took the top four off stage before doing a confirmation. So let me see if I can find like an updated. Okay, so they're walking them. Yeah, and you got to remember the Olympia, they're going to freaking take their time. These call outs, they last for a long time. And it was a ton of fun to watch in person. Okay, so these are still the same group. I'm just trying to find where they took that top 4 and moved them off stage. Okay, so this is all still the same group. Let's see. Okay, and so so they dismissed Lauralie, Ashley, Jazzy, and Amy, and then they moved in Ali, Issa, Maria, and Angelica. And so then they're starting to work into the second call out, right? So I think you get the idea, even if you don't understand call outs for pro shows. And so from there, let's see, who else did they add in? Just trying to find a full shot. Okay, so from there they added in Ashlin, Jordan, and Vania. Okay, so this is essentially the second call out now, or anything from essentially 5th to like 11th place, right? So this was the second call out, and obviously they're gonna compare them, they're gonna walk them. So they walk them to the back of the stage, and then they bring them back up, and they're gonna make some moves, right? So they're gonna try to figure out, okay, where does everyone look right? Who do we want to see next to who? So you can see Vania is being moved in. Maria's there as well. Ashlin is there. Issa got moved out. So that's our 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th places, right? And then Ali, I believe, ended up in 15th. So as we continue to go through the call outs, and just bear with me here. Okay, so now we're on kind of that, 12th through 17th place. So give me 1 second to find one where they're all facing forward. Beautiful. And obviously these photos are just, the press is just going to take a lot of photos, so they're in motion. But here you have Tara Greer, you've got Evie Eskandar, you've got Alice Rocha, Reina Perez, Jordan Brannon, Ariana Brothers, Tamikia Carter, I believe is her last name. And then I think that's Kate Carroll. So this would be our 12th, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19th place, essentially. And in any pro show, you don't get a score after 16th. So some of these ladies, even though they can kind of claim based on the call-outs they're in the top 20, they're not necessarily going to get a place of, say, 17th, 18th, 19th, or 20th. That's just the convention of how these shows work. So after this, we're on to more of the third call-out. So here, it's going to get a little harder for me. There were a few athletes that I believe were international that I don't recognize. So these two I don't recognize. I think that's Lisa Reith, Octavia Matza, Yulia Baba. I'm not placing her. And then I believe this is Wu Bi from China. So you can see that the Olympia, you guys, it is so freaking competitive. Everyone looks incredible. Everyone looks amazing. And just to make it there is a big accomplishment if you are a pro, because it's not easy to turn pro as is. It's even harder to win a show as a pro. Bikini only gets more and more competitive as time goes on. So, these ladies in the top, it's really something to be proud of. And it was a really fun experience to watch the show, both prejudging and finals. I highly encourage you, if you're interested in going to the Olympia or you've attended in the past and you missed it this year, definitely try to make it, plan for it. It truly is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. It's an incredible experience. So try to make it, try to prioritize it. It's well worth it for the motivation, the experience, the ability to network and meet new people. I myself, I wish I'd stayed a little longer because there were more things I could have gotten out of the trip if I had just planned my time a little better. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I mean, the differences at this level, they're so minor, small differences in just, muscle projection, density, posing, all of these little things, they really matter. Hair, makeup, tanning, they all matter at this level. If you're hitting a pose slightly weird, that alone can dock you quite a bit. So these ladies are, looked absolutely amazing, and it's a huge accomplishment to be in that top 10. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Hope it was enjoyable. We'll be back with more duo episodes with Sammy and more guests coming the rest of this year. So enjoy. In the meantime, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, share with a friend, whether it's on YouTube or an audio platform, so the podcast can grow. And I will catch you guys in the next episode.